What's up, everyone? Moses here, bringing you another Path of Exile video guide. This time, Divine Ire Guardian. That's right, Divine Ire Guardian. Tomorrow is Flashback, and I wanted to get kind of like an obscure ascendancy to sneak in a demigod dominance, right? So hopefully we can push hard. I'm going to be playing solo self-found, softcore solo self-found, the 1 month event, and I came up with this build yesterday. Basically, the goal is to get kind of like an obscure ascendancy, something that not too many people are, fully. We just killed Kitava, so I'm going through this character with you guys. Something that not two people are going to be playing, so that you have a higher chance of getting a Demi. So I created the Soul Self-Found and Synthesis, ignored the League mechanic altogether, but I kind of wanted to go through and share what we've been doing basically in the past 8 hours, including about an hour and a half of Blood Aqueduct leveling. The character is level 68 with just Gil Kitava. We did 2 ascendancies, Radiant Crusade and Harmony of Purpose. Now, Guardian is kind of an unfamiliar ascendancy. I strongly recommend you guys to check it out. Basically, the first one gives us some minion damage, and Radiant Crusade gives us increased buff effect of Herald of Purity, and Sentinel of Purity have increased area of effect, but we have you and your allies affected by your aura skills deal 20% increased damage and 10% more damage while you have at least one nearby ally. Okay, so right now, ally could be any of the Heralds of Purity minions or a golem. So let's just summon a golem, and you can see you get like 2 point something K DPS on top. So that's basically the damage bonus that the Ascendancy gives. The second Ascendancy node is really, really good. Power, endurance, and frenzy charge on hit. It's not on kill, it's on hit. That means that you'll be able to have this available for all boss kills, right? Just, basically charges up. And the good thing about Divine Ire is that it ticks multiple times. That's why I chose this skill. 2 reasons. Because A, I wanted something that would benefit from Herald of Purity that adds physical damage to spells, right, and to attacks, but we're a spellcaster. And secondly, it ticks multiple times based on your cast speed. This little circle on the ground kind of like ticks multiple times every time it charges up. So that means that each and every one of those have a chance of proccing that 10% chance to hit and gain a charge. So while mapping, we're constantly charged up, frenzy, endurance, and power charges. The only time we won't have endurance charges is when we proc our immortal call with cast on damage taken, and then it expands the endurance charges. But essentially, we have endurance charges, uptime, and generation constantly. So that physical damage to spells is the reason why I went with Divine Iron, the fact that it ticks a lot, so it gets us, not only the chance to get Power Frenzy Endurance Charge on hit, but also procs easily Elemental Overload, which means it's not a crit build. We're going for just pure scaling of Elemental and like increases in damage. So Elemental Overload is a great, more multiplier, more elemental damage with crit in past 8 seconds, no crit multi. So we cannot get the benefit of crit multi, but we will, upon crit, get a 40% more elemental damage. Right, outside of that, we are Templar, so we start off over here. We pick up all the elemental damage nodes, Retribution, Discipline Training, go up to elemental damage, Holy Dominion, Light of Divinity for the cast speed and all the resist and all the elemental stuff. Going here to Devotion, and then we go down to the Strength node, up to Intelligence, and then grab all of this cluster up to Spiritual Aid. Spiritual Aid is recently added to the tree node that makes increases and reduction to minion damage also affect us. So all the minion damage that we have from our, Guardian is going to affect us. right? So the 10% increased minion damage, for example, and here we might take, we will take Unwavering Crusade. So we got a minion node over here, so that's going to affect us. But also the rest of the minion damage from the tree, from over here, and from over here from Witch. After we rushed Spiritual Aid, what I did is I went down, picked up some life nodes, picked up Mind Over Matter, and then went up and took Elemental Overload, went to Lightning Walker for that cast speed. It's really strong. Picked up the life over here, Intelligence, Lord of the Dead, and Minion damage, and Arcanist Dominion, and stopped here at Heart and Soul. Then revisited the left side, picked up channeling damage, and Singular Focus, and then the 2 Life and Chaos, right? And then I went into, this was around Act 6, Divine Wrath, and the Elemental Damage node and the Elemental Penetration nodes over here, and Divine Judgment. After that, I went down, there was a Jewel Socket, we got some spell damage and some cast speed. Excuse me. And yeah, went down, picked up the Elemental and Resist nodes. Those are pretty decent, you can unspec them later, but they basically give you 12% all resist and 40% elemental damage, so I feel it's pretty worth grabbing. Alongside, you know, the big Scion cluster for life, right? And yeah, basically afterwards I unspec'd the channeling damage and got into channeling damage and speed. And there was a small portion of the leveling where I needed some dexterity in my life, and here we get some 20 dexterity and 6% cast speed, which is pretty decent as well. Right now we just leveled up and killed Kitava, so I'm gonna get the area damage nodes over here, and we'll think about where we go from this point on. But I think we start to make our way towards Shadow. Would seem like a pretty reasonable thing to do. Yeah, to start going into Shadow, Blood Siphon, Elemental Focus, Lethal Assault, and Blood Drinker. That's generally, I think, the goal, to get more life and some Shadow damage. But the major nodes are already picked up. I was considering perhaps getting into all this, but I don't know if I want to go here over Shadow. It's a little bit of a trade-off. Oh, also around the late 60s I got into Deep Thoughts because we are Mind Over Matter, and you definitely want to pick up all the mana action going here. And at the moment the character is 3.5k HP, which is kind of insane, and 1.3k after the reservation of mana, which brings us to around 4.8k effective health pool. Our resistances are just about capped. We need some lightning, so I remember having some lightning here. Yeah, 3C, probably not. Or do we go for this? 20, up to 20, right? We need 58. Lightning, let's see. I don't have the tier 2 for some reason. 58, okay. We can do the 16, 17. Yeah, just about capped on all of our resistances. We got a little bit of chaos resist from these 2 nodes, and yeah, let's go through. Basically, leveling was very easy. You pick up Purifying Flame at level 1. I actually picked it up, and I'm going to continue leveling it. We'll see how a cast while channeling type thing is going to work. But basically, Purifying Flame, right? And you use that, it destroys. Around, as soon as you can, you get this totem, and pretty much face roll with Purifying Flame and this totem. That's all you want. Like Holy Flame Totem, the Templar gets it very early. I think it's just like, I don't know, just right after the Mudflats breaking the eggs or something, you get this totem spell. It's like really early, level 4 or something like that. It's ridiculously strong. This totem early on. The power level of this totem is going to fall off eventually, to a point where right now I'm probably, as soon as I get better chest, I'm not going to consider too much keeping the totem and just focus on Divine Ire solely. But yeah, Purifying Flame, you put it in a +1 fire. Divine Ire is only in Act 3, right? So you want the +1 to fire gems. And with those, you could put in added fire, right? Because it's physical as extra. And the base of Purifying Flame is... this is Purifying Flame, by the way, if you wonder. So you want like added fire damage or something like that and a +1 wand. Right, so you get your Purifying Flame with like added fire and like faster casting or added lightning or whatever it is that you can get in a 3-link +1 to fire wands, and that kind of like carries you all the way to Divine Ire. Around Divine Ire I wouldn't swap until I have an actual 4-link. You want 4 blue 4-link, so basically an energy shield base or an energy shield armor or something like that. You can easily roll with chromatics, but basically looking for just a pure energy shield base, whether it's chest or helm or gloves. Try not to go for boots, because then you kind of lock yourself in place, because boots is always important to get the movement speed, right? So you want the movement speed. If you don't have a choice and you find a free 4-link blue boots, try and roll. If you got some Scar Alks, even if you got a Chaos, try and roll some movement speed on the boots, very important. But basically for Divine Ire, the links are faster casting, Divine Ire, Fizz to Lightning, and Elemental Focus. As a 5th link, I would grab Infused Channeling. Infused Channeling is a skill support gem that we can get from Act 6, as a 5th link, but you shouldn't worry about that too early in the league, right? Infused Channeling. There it is. So it basically deals 20 to 39% more damage, and then you're channeling, while channeling support skills, you take less physical damage from hits, and you, less lightning damage because it's Divine Ire, so you take less physical and less, it's a defensive bonus. While channeling, you get that less physical and less lightning damage, which is pretty big. And as it levels up, it will increase, of course. And you deal 10% more of damage type matching supported skill gem tags, which is lightning. So you deal 10% more damage and up to 40% more damage from support skills. So you get 2 more multipliers here. Very, very strong gem as a 5th link. And lightning penetration as a 6th link most likely is what I would probably go for here. And for the totem, you basically just use whatever you can get, right? So depends on the colors, but basically you want control destructions, you want added fire. I picked up Fizz to Lightning here because, again, I want to benefit from the elemental damage increase nodes. There's a bunch of elemental damage, right, nodes that we're picking up. And if we don't convert, then we only get 50% of the skill is going to be affected by the 10% elemental damage increase, right? Not to mention we do get also increased lightning damage, so when we convert 50% converted to lightning, we also get the benefit of that. So we get a 4-link of Holy Flame Totem, which absolutely carries Elemental Focus, Fizz to Lightning, and Control Destruction. This is the 4-link. Outside of that, I just have a simple but effective level 5 Enfeeble, level 1 cast when damage taken, level 3 here, Wave of Conviction, doesn't matter, it could be level 1, and Immortal Call. Immortal Call makes us immunity to physical damage during the effect, and cast when damage taken procs all these 3 spells. Enfeeble reduces monsters' damage, and Wave of Conviction makes enemies susceptible to lightning damage, because lightning is what we go for. And you also want to make sure that you have some lightning damage to spells. So this is your Wave of Conviction. I've talked about it previously. Basically, Wave of Conviction is a skill that will give us either fire or lightning exposure, right? And since lightning is higher, right, you see it says 27 to 40 fizz damage, 27 to 40 fire damage. and then 60 to 300 almost lightning damage, which means enemies will have 25% elemental exposure, which means we'll have 25% less lightning resist. So this is you know, on top of elemental penetration is how we get elemental penetration for the build. This and these two nodes gives us a little bit of elemental penetration, nothing too insane. But yeah, so outside of that, Flame Dash with Arcane Surge, nothing too crazy here, pretty standard, just proc it with Arcane Surge. I believe I leveled up. One thing to note is don't level up your Arcane Surge. Right now, my Flame Dash does exactly 26, and Arcane Surge requires exactly 26 mana to be activated, but I leveled it up. It was linked with something else earlier, with my Purifying Flame, and I just leveled it up with the Purifying Flame. The thing is that you, in Act 1, cannot buy a new level 1 Arcane Surge. It will level up as well. So you want to keep the Arcane Surge at level 1, or you want 2 Arcane Surges as soon as you get one, and you buy a second one. One you keep at level 1, and the second one you level up with your Purifying Flame, right? Because it gives you more spell damage and increased cast speed, so it's good stuff. Right, but outside of that, it's basically just a very solid, well-rounded character. Just life resists, and we use Mind Over Matter as defensive, and we got about 5k life at level, you know, 68 as you know, as a starting character. If you want to see how this character plays, we can jump into a map. How about that? My atlas is absolutely empty. Here we got mana cost of skills. This is not terrible. We could also mana cost of skills. These two nodes are not bad, I guess. We could have gotten here, right? And then this. I don't know. I'm kind of like thinking what I want for, you know, for like the future of this build. Basically, I think what we should be doing is just get into, slowly but surely get into the shadow. There's a lot of annoying traveling nodes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, so until level 72 we're actually not gonna get anything done, but you know, we gotta get to it. So let's get to it. And yeah, one thing I do recommend if you're leveling up this character, is pick, or any character really, doesn't matter. I got a full set of Atziri right away, so that means I could get into Atziri right away, and I can get an Atziri's Flask if she drops it. It's basically, I don't know, 60-70% chance to drop one, so most of the time she will, right? So do the corrupted side zones. I really do recommend you guys to do the corrupted side zones, so you can, you know, so you can get into Atziri as soon as you can. Also, there's supposed to be some crafting recipes somewhere here. Don't forget it. Yeah, when you first go to Kitava, there is movement speed rank 3, so that's pretty good. You can craft itself movement speed on the boots. I think it goes up to, I don't know what it goes up to, maybe 20, I don't remember. But I mean, it's a nice thing to have. And yeah, so first you go, you get your Zana mission, and we get a map, Iceberg, Fungal Hollow, Cursed Crypt. Like, it doesn't matter which, we need to do it anyways. So let's just augment it. Chilled ground, just a little bit of quantity. So one thing I do recommend, guys, is no matter the Atlas bonus requirement. Right now, this is the first map I got from Zana, so I'm going to use it as magic. But whenever you get a map, okay, whenever you get a map, no matter what is the Atlas bonus objective, I still don't have access to my Atlas right now, but it's okay. So no matter what the Atlas bonus objective requirement is, you want to alchemy that map, okay? Cursed Crypt, sweet. So yeah, I mean, really, no matter, you want to alchemy that map, okay? Completing the bonus objective is one thing, But alchemy everything, guys. Alchemy everything, because you get more maps this way, and even if it's a white map, it's really, really strong. Because you get a whole bunch of currencies, you get more maps, and you're getting your return easy clap. That's a red beast here. We got an INR. Yeah, it's kind of a grind. Our gems are actually about to level up. These red beasts can be a bit tanky, you know. Picking up all the armor pieces. My loot filter is just soft never sink. Something I leveled with, but now I'm probably going to get to something a bit different. So yeah, boss is pretty easy clap. I still need to get used to how I actually play the build. Because with Divine Ire, there's like a certain threshold that you need to be able to kind of like know what's enough, what's going to one-shot and what's going to leave monsters with a little bit of HP. And it takes a little bit of practice, and I'm obviously not practice playing the skill for the first time. It feels amazing though, I must admit. It really does feel amazing, and I strongly recommend you guys to try it. I've been like, it's been kind of like the theme, everybody's been playing it. I was not playing it at all. It's the first time I didn't see anybody playing it, but you know, I've seen the skill, but I didn't really know anything about it until right now. I wanted the channeling skill because I'm a fan of channeling, and I wanted something that is physical, so that it will benefit from Herald of Purity. That was the idea, using the Guardian and Herald of Purity to get all that minion stuff going. So that's the premise. That's the, you know, the initial idea of how to make the build. Okay, map is clear. And yeah, this is it. Zana shows us the Atlas, and there's Cursed Crypt and Zana missions and all sorts of stuff. That's all good stuff. Channel, we got some missions going, and we got a fresh Atlas we just got in here. And yeah, what I was talking about is the unknown zones. See this, alleyways. It says kill boss of magic or higher version of the map. Alright, so now we don't care about this Zana. We should purchase items. She perhaps have some. Yeah, we need our chance orbs. Alright, so this is, yeah, league start, right? You start, you just do all the maps, everything. So self-found at this point, but everything, all you can get. This could have been sweet if it had some movement speed. Look at those tri-res boots. I got 30 movement speed boots, so I don't want to change anything. But yeah, I mean, we're just going to vendor. Nice boots, however. Okay, soul self-found. Soul self-found life. Okay, so for like our next map, it's going to be a Cursed Crypt, right? Obviously I'm not going to chisel it, but I'm definitely going to alch it. Okay? And by alching, I make a much more quantity map over here, and we're going to be returning a lot more maps this way. Let's do this one as well. Of course, we're not using the map device this early. We're broke. Let's do another map right here with this Cursed Crypt. See what I'm talking about? How it ticks quickly, and how we're getting our frenzy, endurance, and power charges like basically instantly. The second we got into the map, we already have maximum 3 charges, and it always refreshes. You see? 3, 3, and 3 over here at top buff side. So this is a very, very strong very strong buff that the Guardian gets and no other class does. And that's basically it. The thing about Guardian is that it has really nice 2 nodes, and like past that for damage, that's it. There's nothing else. There's also a Zana mission. I'm not going to be doing that. But if you guys want to see more gameplay of this awesome Divine Ire Templar Guardian, feel free to come to the stream tomorrow. We're going to start the race, and I'm going to get myself a Demi with this guy. For sure. We're going to be on the grind, and you guys are invited to join with me and cheer me up a bit as we're racing in the Soul Self-Found. And we got a Moon Sorrow and a dungeon, tier 2. See what I mean? Easy clap. You always alchemy your shit. Like always, always, always. Every map. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at the race. Don't forget to follow, subscribe to the channel. More content coming up. Thanks for watching.